Hello and welcome to Employment Law Training. In the following slides, we will be discussing a few of the laws and regulations that can affect your role as a manager in our company. We will also discuss your role as a manager as it pertains to the laws and how we can protect our company. The Fair Labor Standards Act. Non-exempt employees must be paid at least a minimum wage for all hours worked, including meetings, trainings, and travel time if applicable. The federal minimum wage is $7.25. Nebraska's minimum wage is $9. Workers must be compensated at a rate of 1.5 times their wage for over 40 hours worked. Exempt employees are not eligible to receive overtime because they receive salaries that are not based on the number of hours worked. The Fair Labor Standards Act also established child labor laws. 14 is the minimum age for most non-farm work. Children under 14 must have parental consent to work anywhere that is not owned by their parents. Minors are unable to work hazardous jobs, and hours must be limited outside of school hours. And lastly, records for each employee must be kept for at least 3 years. This includes their full name, address including zip code, sex, job title, time and day of the week each employee's work week begins, and total wages for each pay period and date of payment and pay periods covered. The Equal Pay Act. The Equal Pay Act requires women and men to be paid equally for performing equal work. The job does not need to be identical, but must be substantially equal. If they possess the same skills, if they're working under the same conditions, if they have the same responsibilities, and any complaint should be reported to HR. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination in the workplace based on race or color, gender, religion, political and religious beliefs, national origin, and sex. As a manager, all hiring, promotions, training programs, layoffs, and/or termination determinations must be made by an unbiased decision. Next, we'll discuss the Age Discrimination in Employment Act. Employees 40 years and older are protected under this act. Employers should not treat an applicant or employee less than favorable because of their age. This can occur even if both the manager and employee are over 40. ADEA protections cover situations including hiring and firing, promotions, layoffs, pay or compensation, training, benefits, and work assignments. It is also illegal to harass or make offensive remarks about a person's age. The Americans with Disabilities Act. The ADA protects individuals with disabilities. An employee with a disability has a physical or mental impairment that limits one or more major life activities, has a record of the impairment, and is regarded as having an impairment. All individuals must be treated fairly during hiring, pay determination, promotion, training programs, and layoffs or terminations. Reasonable accommodations. These include reconfiguring existing facilities to make more accessible for persons with disabilities, any kind of job restructuring, for example, modifying work schedules, purchasing or modifying equipment or devices, adjusting or modifying examinations, any training materials or policies, and providing readers or interpreters as needed. Reasonable accommodations enable people with disabilities to have equal employment opportunities. An employer is not required to provide reasonable accommodations if making these accommodations causes an undue hardship. An undue hardship means that the employer could encounter a significant expense to make the needed accommodations. Family Medical Leave Act. FMLA allows eligible employees of covered employers to take unpaid leave for specified family and medical reasons. It is usually job protected, meaning that when the employee returns, they must be restored to his or her original job or an equivalent job with the same pay, benefits, and terms of employment as they had prior to leave. Who qualifies? Any employee that has been employed for at least 12 months. It does not have to be consecutive unless the gap has been 7 years or more. Any employee that has worked at least 1,250 hours during the 12-month period immediately preceding the leave. What events qualify an employee? Birth of a child or placement of a child for adoption or foster care, to care for a spouse, child, or parent with a serious health condition. If the employee has a serious health condition that makes them unable to perform job duties. If a spouse, child, or parent is a military member on covered active duty or called to covered active duty status. And an employee can also take up to 26 weeks leave to care for a spouse, child, or parent who is a service member with a serious injury or illness. The Occupational Safety and Health Act. Under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, our general duty is to protect our employees from workplace hazards, such as exposure to toxic chemicals, excessive noise levels, mechanical dangers, heat or cold stress, or unsanitary conditions. As a company, we should be providing safety equipment, training, having the required postings, and material safety data sheets posted if needed. Employers can face fines for violating the Occupational Safety and Health Act. Employees must follow safety policies and procedures. All workplace injuries must be reported to the Human Resources Department immediately. If you have any questions regarding the Occupational Safety and Health Act, please see the posters that are displayed or seek out a member of the HR team. Workers' compensation. Benefits are provided for injuries that happen while on work time. Benefits can include wage loss, medical, and death benefits. Benefits cover about 1/2 to 2/3 of the employee's average weekly rate. Generally, it does not include independent contractors. It does not matter who is at fault. Employees cannot sue employers. They are getting assured benefits for this injury that is covered under workers' comp laws. Employees can, however, sue negligent third parties. Any and all work-related injuries should be reported to HR as soon as possible. Incident reports must be completed, and HR will file the reports with the agency who provides our workers' comp benefits. Any and all injuries should be treated as legitimate injuries. Respond to the employee, give first aid if needed, and always document. And if needed, get prompt medical treatment. Your role and company expectations. As managers, you should protect our employees from any kind of discrimination and/or harassment. Learn about and understand these employment laws to help protect our company. Promote a safe, inclusive, and discrimination-free workplace. All employees should be treated equally. Keep detailed records and documentation of any interactions between yourself and employees. And if you're unsure of your role in any HR situations, please seek out guidance. We are all on one team. How can we protect our company? As managers, you can keep clear, detailed records regarding our employees. When having conversations, keep in mind the employment laws that we have discussed here today. By not violating any of these laws, we can protect ourselves from unnecessary lawsuits and/or mediation. If in doubt, please reach out to a member of the HR team. If you have any questions or feedback to offer, come see a member of the HR team. Thank you for your time and working to keep our company a leader in our industry.